Hello there, this is Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space, and today I want to tell you why I love TBRs, and I want to explain my new TBR and rating systems. I really love TBRs because they help me to stay focused, they help me keep track of the buddy reads and the read-alongs and all the really cool things that are happening here on BookTube. All of the reasons why I joined BookTube. I also love that I can shout out read-alongs that maybe I can't take part in, or I can't take part in fully, or I'm just taking a small part in it, but I just think it's really cool. And I can spotlight creators that are doing awesome community things because that's something I just love in a creator. And a good example would be Kate Howe. Another one would be Noah from Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse. And kind of once a year, Danny from Spinelli Speaks does a giant read-along type thing, but all year round, she's doing tons of buddy reads all the time. So next, I will tell you about my new rating system. I used to do the star rating system, and then Michael pointed out that the whole point of the 5-star system is to make it real simple. It's 1 through 5, and I really hate that. It's not complex enough. So I decided to go to letter grades because I like that it does plus and minus, and there's several different letter grades, and it kind of is the American school system. I am switching it, however, now to the 1 through 100%, which is another way that I was often graded in school. And I love that because you literally have 100 different grades that you could give something. It's so specific. I first saw Christine from Pull and Bananas books using this rating system, and I'm just gonna nab it. So now I would like to tell you about my new TBR system. This is how I am going to keep myself from being overwhelmed because I tend to love to join everything because my friends are so cool and they're always doing cool things. I'm gonna give myself a few rules so that I don't just jump into things willy-nilly. Before I get into explaining the new TBR system that I have, I want to explain a little bit about why I developed it and why I am doing it. First of all, I want to be more thorough instead of just jamming things in there. As you may have noticed, I really like to tab up my books, and it really bums me out if I tab up a book and then I don't have time to go back through the tabs and really digest what happened in the book and why I marked it up that way. And lately, what's been happening is I'll tab up a book and I'll only get to go through a few of the tabs before it's time to talk about the book for a live show or for my wrap up, or it's time to move on to another book, and it's just go, go, go. There's no time to just relax and enjoy my notes. That is not fun for me. I like being more thorough and having a very developed opinion on a book because I always want to understand what an author is trying to tell me through a book. My tabbing system is my reading glory. I just tab up anything that seems important for my understanding of a book. So I end up with a lot of tabs because then when I go back through the tabs, it's almost like I'm rereading the book. And I like to understand it that well if I'm going to have a live show on it or if I want to do a deep dive on the book. It also gives me things to talk about if I'm buddy reading it with someone, which brings me to my next point of why I am doing this TBR system. I want to be really present for my buddy reads. I do not want to be just checking in every 2 weeks or something and being like, hey, I last night sat down and read half of the book. Like, no, I want to be actually chattering with people while reading. It's just so much more satisfying for me that way. And I can't do it if I'm focused in 10,000 different directions. I also want to make sure that I am keeping up with my Russian tabbing system. It's going really well, except that I'm not keeping up with my tabs, and I really need to do that. So here is my system. It's a color tier system based on the assumption that I can usually read about 3 books per month really thoroughly. And if I try and crowd much more than that in there, I'm gonna have problems. The first tier is yellow, and that is my top 3 priority books. The reason I picked 3 is because a lot of months I finish between 2 and 3 books. Often it's not more than that, really. I will make progress on lots of books, but I often don't finish more than 3. These are the 3 books that I am going to focus on finishing. So these can be books that are to be continued books, or they can be books that are completely new this month, books that people have bought me in order to buddy read or do read-alongs with me, those are priority books for me because I want to make sure that I am thanking them by actually reading the books with them. These priorities are numbers 1, 2, and 3 for the month, and I have to finish those books or finish my goals for those books before I move on to anything else. Or at least be very comfortable with my progress on those things before I start anything else. Also, it's often these books are books that I will be in live shows for or hosting live shows for. That always makes them a priority to actually sit down and read and not just listen to them on audiobook because I want to have things to say on the live show. And unless I really sit down and read something, I usually don't have things to say. So really the yellow tier is books that I want to sit down with and really focus on and read rather than just listening on audiobook. So after the yellow tier comes the red tier. Now, I'm only allowed to put one book in the red tier because if there are any other books that I want to finish that month, it's going to be that one. So oftentimes this will be a book that I just really, really wanted to read, but I couldn't fit it into my priorities. So it's going to have to be a mostly audiobook read. So there's always a good chance that I can fit that red tier book in there just by listening on audiobook. Now, my key for this is I need to finish my Russian and I need to finish my yellow tier goals before I can sit down with a red tier book and actually read it with my eyes. The blue tier, this is going to be books mostly probably that I need to finish. They're to be continued books rather than to be read books. Or they're books that I just want to keep my eye on because there's something cool going on with them, even though I know I can't fit them into my priorities. I just want my eye on them. And I also have a green tier, which is mostly probably, to be honest, going to be genre fiction books because I tend to mostly gravitate towards books that are really heavy thinkers. And sometimes I just need some genre fiction books that I can just pick and mood read from, mostly on audiobook, which can sometimes work out very well for me. I'm often listening to audiobooks and they're more like mood reads because it's something that I'll listen to while I'm trying to fall asleep or I'll listen to when I'm driving to work, but I can't listen to like a book that I want eyes on the page with. So I'm often listening to audiobooks anyway, or if I can't sleep, that's mostly what the green tier is for. So I hope that you enjoyed hearing about my new systems and why I love TBRs. Let me know down below if you are a fan of TBRs, what your personal rating system is. If you have a TBR system, I know a lot of people use like spreadsheets and stuff like that, which I think is really cool. I just don't know how to use spreadsheets, otherwise I'd probably use that too. Thank you so much for watching this. Please do give me a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And if you want to be notified anytime I make a new video, please hit the little bell icon off in the corner. And don't forget to watch the ads because all of the ad revenue from this channel does go to Families Together, which is a wonderful charity that I highly recommend checking out. It is linked down below in all of my videos. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. Bye.